Hui, haumana, aloha kakahiaka. Welcome to English American style. And you're going, well, what the heck? That didn't sound like English to me. It wasn't. It was Hawaiian. That is a greeting. If you don't know what the greeting is, look it up. But today we're actually going to talk about the greeting of how are you. So translators, interpreters, ESL learners, other English learners, this is important because the greeting is what you're going to be doing on a regular basis, right? When translators and interpreters, when you're meeting your clients, you need to greet them. ESL students, when you're meeting your classmates or even your instructors or other people in your life, now that you're here in a space where you're practicing your English, your American English, you want to make sure that you do the greeting correctly. So the formal pronunciation of it is "How are you?" And in reality, the tone that I just used is not correct. You would say something like "How are you?" or "How are you?" Right? So you wouldn't go "How are you?" the way I first said it. You would say "How are you?" or "How are you?" So that is a fair way to ask the greeting. The typical response to that is "Fine." The typical response to almost all of the greetings is "Fine." So some of the other greetings that go along with "How are you?" are "How are ya?" So instead of "you," we might use the pronunciation of "ya," which is, we would spell it "ya." Now, writers, you would not write that typically unless you're actually writing dialogue in like film or a theater class, or maybe even in a short story where you have characters communicating. But your instructors are probably looking for a more formal version of "How are you?" But how are you? How you doing? So notice there that there was no R in it. How are you doing or how are you doing? Typically, we're just going to go, how you doing? What's going on? How's it going? What's up? How's it is actually where I should be doing the Hawaiian shaka sign. How's it? What else? Yeah, what's going on? What's happening? So if you listen to my pronunciation, on most of these, it's very casual. So things like what's happening, right? HAPPENING. I'm saying what's happening. What's going on? How you doing? So what you're not hearing is the actual ing in those phrases, right? Because it would be how are you doing or how you doing. What's going on, what's happening, but that's just not a typical way that Americans will say, how you doing, what's going on, how's it going, what's up. So you want to make sure that you start to understand these casual greetings and know when to use them. So if you were translators and interpreters, if you're going up to meet your client, you're probably not going to go, what's going on? You're probably going to say, oh, how are you? Or how are you? Right? Or how are you? But when you start to get to know friends, so ESL students, when you start to have friends, you're going to say things like, how's it going? What's going on? What's happening? And you'll do it in a casual way. So you won't necessarily pronounce all of the hard consonants like the T's in the what's up. In a what is up, we would just go what's up or what's up. In fact, the T might not even be there when we do what's up. So you might see that in casual spelling as WASSUP, what's up. Oh, your English teachers are going to have my head for this, right? But you're not going to write this in English papers. You're not going to write this probably in most papers unless you're writing dialogue for betwixt characters for like a short story, as I said earlier, or maybe a film class or maybe theater dialogue. Okay? So, but typically with most of those, the response is going to be some version of fine or maybe nothing. And how we would pronounce the nothing is actually we would go nothing. So if I say what's going on, your reply is probably going to be nothing, right? That's what every parent who has a teenage kid, oh, so what's going on today? Nothing. We get it. But if you hear the nothing, it's not a nothing. It's just nothing. So go. You're gonna probably play this video back several times so that you can hear all these levels of casual chat. And then if you have questions about the pronunciation of them or why I might say them that way, you can post those questions down below. So hopefully you're starting to learn more. You're understanding the American accent. You're getting more comfortable with your communication style. Those of you who are writing, remember, you ain't writing. You ain't. We'll talk about ain't some other time. You ain't writing. How are you in anything other than dialogue? And if I'm wrong on that, leave that in the comments below too, because I'd love to find out where else I might write how are you in a educational or academic setting. All right, so feel free to, what do we do these days? Smack that like button. Just hit the like. Leave some comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Class dismissed.